What's up, people? I'm here to review the Book of Eli. It stars Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, Mila Kunis, and a bunch of cameos that you'll notice. It also has Ray Stevenson, which does a really good job in this. If you don't know who he is, he played the last Punisher in Warzone, and that that movie sucked, but he was like a good Punisher, and he was really good in this movie. It was directed by the Hughes brothers, which did Menace to Society, Dead Presidents, and a movie I totally forgot about, From Hell, that Johnny Depp movie about Jack the Ripper. That movie I saw in theaters, but I liked it at the time. Now thinking back onto it, it sucks. But I did like Dead Presidents and Menace to Society. I thought those are pretty creative, especially for the 90s. And also the first name is Albert and Alan Hughes, doesn't really matter. But I gotta say, I love all the actors in this movie, and that's mainly why I wanted to see it. And I love post-apocalypse movies, but I was really having low expectations for it because it's like a Hollywood action movie. Like by the trailer, it looks really badass, and I'm like, oh, I definitely got to see this. But I have a feeling it's gonna suck. And I love The Road, and I was just like, I just felt worried seeing this after The Road because I'm like, it's not gonna be nearly as good. I will say, if I have to compare The Road and the Book of Eli, I obviously love The Road more because the style it has and the feel of it and how real it is, and just like it feels more like a journey than a movie. And there's every single thing about The Road I absolutely love, and it was like my favorite movie of 2009, tied with The Hurt Locker. But this movie on its own, and compared to a lot of action movies I've seen, this is one of the best I've seen in a long ass time. And I've seen so many movies lately, and this really is like one of my top 10 or top 5 at least for like most fun films. And I saw it and I was surprised because the audience was pretty packed, and it's a huge theater. And the audience had like the best reactions, like whether everyone was like, oh my god, or just like certain things that would be hilarious and everyone would find it funny. It was either intentional or sometimes it was kind of like unintentional, but it was still fun. But a lot of the times between the action and just like how badass Eli was, and just his like his mind, like just the way his character is, just people seem to really connect with him and like really root for him. And some people would accidentally start clapping during scenes because they're just like, oh my god, this is sick. And it was just a really, really fun time. It was kind of like seeing The Hangover with a big audience because it was just really fun. But this was an action movie that just everyone had a ball with. And I gotta say, this is like, I really like this movie. Like right away, I'll rate it real quick, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10. And I was originally gonna give it like a 7 or even a 6 out of 10 because it's really, compared to big, huge, like Oscar-worthy movies, it's obviously not worth any awards. But all the characters were awesome. The style it has at first, you might get annoyed by it. Some people might hate it because it has like that sepia feel, like it's really kind of I don't know, bleached, or it's obviously a bleak setting, but it's really like there's no really anything left, and there's no like plants, no foliage, no really it's just the look of it at first. It's kind of like how Daybreakers was like tinted blue. That I forget the word for it, but it's kind of like that, except it's more like tan and grayish. But in some scenes you just don't even notice it at all because it's colored. But it really never bothered me. Like the first few minutes I didn't even care, and then the entire movie I didn't care. So it's like that wasn't even a problem. I was surprised because the soundtrack, I gotta say, was one of my favorite soundtracks besides The Road, because it was just so crazy. Like maybe you won't agree with me or whatever, but just like the theme of the Book of Eli, like the beginning it has it, and then like towards the end, something about it in the theater, because it was like really really loud. It just like gave me goosebumps almost. It was just like, not like I was scared, but I just felt like it was just so fucking epic, just the music alone. And obviously this isn't a perfect movie by like any stretch of the imagination. Like, this is not, compared to all the movies that are out like on DVDs or classic movies. Can't really compare them and say like, oh yeah, the Book of Eli sucks compared to those. And this movie on its own though, damn, this fucking stands its ground, man. This is the type of movie I was looking for out of it. And I went in with low expectations. I came out more than satisfied. I was pissed yesterday because I was like trying to aim for a matinee. I'm like, I don't want to pay full price for this movie. I really don't. And then we saw it late at night, and I walked out and I was like happy I paid full price because it was just so fucking worth it. The movie was just so fun. A lot of people might not like it because what it deals with, its themes and its story, but I thought it had balls to actually do that, and you don't see a lot of movies like that, and really nothing ever really offends me in movies. This is a movie that will offend some people when you see it. Some people might be so picky about it and be like complaining about all its elements and like this you know, the whole plot of it, but I decided I had fun with it. I did really like the story. I kept hearing shit like the first half's way better, then it totally falls apart in the second half. So I was expecting that. The entire movie for me was like really really good. So like the whole time I'm going, when's it supposed to get bad? Then the credits come up, and I'm like, that never got bad. That was a wicked fucking good movie. So hey, maybe I'm the only one. Well, I would say that, but the entire audience loved it. My friends loved it. A lot of people are talking about it. It's more of like a sleeper hit, but I doubt it's going to get big at the box office because it's post-apocalypse. Really, a lot of people will be like, I don't really know if I want to see that. Maybe on DVD. I gotta say, if you want to see this movie and if you're curious about checking it out, and you know you're going to eventually see it someday, see it in theaters. Like, the screen was big, and it was just the widescreen format it had was just like perfect. Like the cinematography, it wasn't as good as certain movies, but for the big screen, it was meant for the big screen. You really should see it in theaters. I definitely highly recommend seeing it in theaters if you're gonna see it at all. I honestly even kind of want to see it again with my other friends who didn't go, because it gives me an excuse to see it again. And usually I'm not like that with a lot of movies, but this is definitely one movie I'd happily see again. I mean, it has its own moments that really either get dragged on or just really aren't that interesting, and just the way it is. But overall, it was very, very like well paced. Their you know, imagination from the directors did a good job. Denzel Washington as the lead role of Eli, I was like kind of worried because I love him as an actor, but I'm like, how's he gonna be in this role as in like an action hero style, like, you know, a guy wielding a blade, kind of like Wesley Snipes, and but seeing it, he was the perfect guy for that. I mean, I was like trying to think of other actors, and I'm like, no, they really wouldn't do a good job. And thinking back on the movie, man, like, he really stole the show, obviously. And Gary Oldman was an awesome villain. I don't know if you saw Air Force One, but they used to be like one of my favorite movies when it came out because I was younger. And I'd actually have to say he did a better job being a villain in this movie because it was just so like, he actually had some kind of heart, but he was just so corrupt in his own soul and shit. And how even Ray Stevenson, he's obviously like a bad guy in it. You can tell from the trailers, but he has more of a character to him than you'd expect. Like, it focuses on him sometimes, and you can tell he really has like a heart, but he's just following the wrong guy, which is Gary Oldman. Anyways, this is supposed to run up soon because it's like almost 10 minutes. But anyways, I'd have to say I'd recommend it. I did give it an 8 out of 10 stars because it just, to me, it deserved it. It blew my mind. So go see the Book of Eli. It's the best thing out right now. You've probably seen everything else like Avatar. I have.